This is the library, which is lined on 3 sides with wooden shelving holding 35,000 volumes, and then the 4th wall is a wall of glass that allows views out into the garden. This is upon entering, you walk into a large exhibition gallery. This space would be for rotating exhibitions and also for a public gathering space before and after events held in the poetry performance space that you see beyond. At the entrance to the performance space, there is a tribute to Harriet Monroe, the founding editor of Poetry magazine, and she greets visitors as they enter to come in for a poetry reading or other event. The inset photo shows how this photograph is actually integrated right into the plaster wall of the foundation. This is a view inside the performance space where poets will read their work against the backdrop of the garden outside. One of the expressed goals of this space was for it to be acoustically perfect or optimal for the human voice, both in terms of its isolation of outside noise and in terms of its room acoustics, such that someone inside the room could hear the poet speaking without amplification. In order to achieve this, the spaces and surfaces of the room have to be specially designed from an acoustical standpoint to be either diffusive, absorptive, or reflective, depending on the position within the room and their orientation to the speaker. So, for example, that gray wall that you see in the image and in the elevation here is a wall of a concrete block that's ribbed in 5 different patterns of ribbed block, stacked and then grouted solid to create an acoustical mass. In addition to large and small poetry readings, there will be other events held in the space that advance the art, including Institute symposia, poetry awards dinners, Poetry Foundation board meetings, and so forth. Near the front door and wrapping around a small bamboo garden that's skylit from above is the main stair that will take visitors up to the 2nd floor. This is a view from the intermediate landing of the main stair. This looks out over the garden and down into the exhibition gallery below. Moving up to the 2nd floor. The 2nd floor is comprised of a large open office area that is configured such that to allow views from any point into the garden. It's ringed on the perimeter by a series of small cellular spaces. Inside these spaces are offices, conference rooms, and various other support spaces that support magazine and foundation activities. Running around the space at the perimeter here, try that again, separating the open office from the interior space is a system of wooden bookshelves, and this forms a working library for the magazine and website staff. So the building is really conceived of as a series of conceptual layers out of different materials that people move through in between. So, for example, this is the inner wood layer of the project. It starts out in the library on the ground floor, which is double height space, jumps up to the 2nd floor, forms the working library for the magazine and website, and then comes down to enclose the performance space at the east end of the building. This is a glass layer that allows daylight into the office and program areas and allows views out into the garden. The outer layer is a layer of black zinc, which is solid where it encloses the building and perforated where it borders on the garden. These are 2 views of the garden. The top view is inside the garden looking at the building, and then the bottom view is the same view out from the street looking through the black zinc screen into the garden. So this is the solid portions of zinc here, and this area is perforated. This is intended to engage the public, engage their curiosity, and invite participation into the building. These are some views of the development of that screen wall and its supporting aluminum structure. The perception of the building will change depending on the viewer's perspective. So in the top view, when viewed obliquely, the screen will look solid and the building will appear monolithic. But when viewed frontally, the screen will become transparent and allow views into the garden, again, to kind of invite the participation of the public. This perception of the building will also change during the course of the day. So this is the building in the evening, when the uplighting of the garden and the light coming out of the building will cause the metal screen to dissolve visually, and the garden will come to the fore. I'd like to close by saying, unlike a lot of other contemporary projects now, the purpose of this building is not to surprise, it's not to shock, it's intended to intrigue and delight. The building is not meant as a loud architectural statement that screams for attention, but a subtle spatial narrative that slowly unfolds. I think that poetry is a very demanding art. It demands a lot of its readers, but its rewards are great. And I hope we could say the same for this building when it's built. Thank you.